So what's the future of my job? It's a question that's probably on a lot of our minds, right? There's this real uncertainty in the air that's hitting everyone, from people just starting their careers to folks who've been at it for years. Today, we're going to unpack why that anxiety is growing and take a look at what might be just around the corner. And look, this isn't just some vague feeling. For an entire generation, this is a very real, very present anxiety. Recent data shows that Gen Z, the newest folks entering the workforce, are feeling especially pessimistic about their chances of landing a good job. And when you dig into the challenges they're up against, it's not hard to see why. All right, so first up, let's look at the immediate hurdles, the things happening right now that are creating this new wave of job anxiety, especially for young professionals. It's this super frustrating catch-22 that so many recent graduates are slamming into. They're out there hunting for entry-level jobs, only to see the requirements list years and years of experience. I mean, how does that work? It's a paradox that basically locks the door before they can even get a foot inside. And hey, this isn't just a feeling people have, it's a documented shift in the job market. As experts like Caddy K point out, the actual definition of entry-level has totally changed. It's created this huge barrier to entry for people just trying to start their careers. Now, this tough job search isn't happening in a vacuum. It's actually being made worse by a whole bunch of economic pressures that are turning the fight for that first job into a truly uphill battle. I mean, just look at this list. Each one of these is a heavyweight on its own. You've got the cost of living just soaring way faster than entry-level pay. Then you pile on massive student debt that has to get paid back, a housing crisis that makes moving out and being independent feel like a distant dream. And all of this is playing out against a backdrop of post-pandemic economic weirdness. The financial pressure is just immense before they've even landed that first career track job. So we have a generation that is already struggling with the job market of today. What on earth happens when we introduce the fastest, most disruptive technological force we have ever seen into that equation? And that force, of course, is artificial intelligence. But we need to think about AI not just as another piece of tech, but as what you could call the great accelerator, a force that's set to dramatically, and I mean dramatically, speed up the pace of change in the world of work. Really put this speed into perspective, listen to this point from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. In past industrial revolutions, it took about 75 years for half of all jobs to significantly change. 75 years. With AI, Altman warns that this entire cycle could be squished down into just a few years. The amount of change might be something we've seen before, but the speed is going to be unlike anything in human history. So, who's on the front lines of this change? According to Altman, roles in customer support are probably going to feel the impact first. He's a bit more on the fence about programming. Sure, AI boosts productivity, but whether that means more programming jobs or fewer in 5 years, well, the jury's still out. And the safest jobs? Things like nursing, roles that really depend on a deep human connection that AI, for now anyway, just can't replicate. This incredible speed of change naturally leads to a whole new set of questions. What are the consequences for society going to be? And here we've got a couple of different experts looking at the same thing, but coming to very different and pretty important conclusions. So on one hand, you have Sam Altman. He's really focused on the speed of it all. He sees this as a historical process that's just been put on hyperspeed. But then you have hedge fund founder Ray Dalio, and he's focused on a different and maybe more alarming outcome: massive inequality. He's less worried about the speed and much more worried about creating a huge divide between the haves and have-nots. And Dalio, well, he doesn't mince words. He predicts a future with a small number of very big winners and a whole lot of losers. In his view, the biggest impact of AI won't just be jobs changing, but a dramatic spike in societal and economic division. Dalio's prediction really paints a stark picture of the future, doesn't it? He believes the economic benefits of AI, all that new wealth, won't be shared broadly. Instead, it's going to flow overwhelmingly to the top 1 to 10% of society, creating a wealth gap that's way bigger than anything we see today. If Dalio's prediction is even partially correct, it forces us to ask a really profound question. What is our collective responsibility to the people who are left behind by this incredible technological leap? And the search for an answer is leading a lot of smart people to a pretty controversial idea. That idea is universal basic income, or UBI. Now, the slide gives you the textbook definition, but the key phrase here is no strings attached. This isn't like unemployment benefits. It's about creating a financial floor for everyone, a baseline meant to provide some stability in a world that's becoming more and more unstable. What's fascinating is that some of the biggest cheerleaders for UBI are the very people building this AI future. Guys like Sam Altman and AI pioneer Geoffrey Hinton. They see it as a necessary safety net. But they're also realistic. It brings up huge political and financial questions. And as Altman himself says, it's not going to solve every problem, but it might give people a better horizon, a better foundation to build their futures on. So let's bring these two threads together. On one side, you have the very real, very immediate anxiety of today's job market. And on the other, you have the unprecedented disruption of tomorrow's technology barreling down the tracks. What you end up with is this pressure cooker scenario. You've got a generation that's already fighting an uphill battle for a good job, and now they're standing on the doorstep of the most rapid technological transformation in human history. The pressures of right now are about to be massively amplified by the disruptions of the very near future. And that leaves all of us with a final and frankly pretty profound question that goes way beyond economics and tech. As these intelligent machines take on more and more tasks that we once thought were uniquely human, we have to start asking ourselves, in a world of intelligent machines, what does it mean to be useful? What is our purpose going to be? That's something we're all going to have to figure out together.
Thank you for watching Jobs Are Gone with AI. See you in the next episode.